So hello guys, and welcome to another video, and I've been playing Mario & Luigi Brothership for about 15 hours now, and the game has been getting even better for me. Like, I would definitely say this is definitely becoming one of my favorite Mario & Luigi games. I would say it's definitely on par with Superstar Saga in Bowser's Inside Story. I know that's a bold claim, especially because this game has been receiving a lot of negativity from people lately. I know that's the vocal minority. I know this game has mostly been receiving a lot of praise across the board, I would say. I feel like most people are enjoying this game and think that it is one of the better Mario & Luigi games. But there has been a fair deal of discourse surrounding it, I guess due to the game's performance, which is definitely understandable. That is definitely a valid criticism to have. I do feel like that is one of my criticisms of the game, that the game doesn't perform the best. And then there's also other things as well. One that I don't really understand, like with the people saying that the story isn't good, because I think the story is great. I don't know where those people are coming from. I think that might just be the reviewers, though. I really haven't seen anyone outside of, like, IGN say that the writing and story is bad, so I think that's just a very, very vocal minority with that one. But yeah, I do feel like this game has been mostly praised across the board, but despite that negativity, I kind of wanted to talk about this game more positively and look at some of the positive aspects of this game and why it is becoming one of my favorite Mario & Luigi games, and why this one is probably going to be viewed as one of the best Mario & Luigi games in the future. So yeah, and the first thing is the battle system. And you can tell that former Alpha Dream devs were involved with this part, because it feels just as good, if not better, than the past 3 games. Like, there's a lot of mechanical nuance here, I would say. Like, even compared to other titles, I feel like the only lack of nuance here is the fact that you can't select a stat to upgrade when you level up. I think that's the only thing that kind of brings it down a little bit, or is just a very minimal complaint. And then there's also the thing with not being able to select Luigi with B at first. That's a bit weird. But I feel like you get used to that as you play the game more. It's not really that much of an issue for me now. It was more in like the first 5 or so hours of the game. It was something that I had to get used to, because it was kind of muscle memory to select B for Luigi in battle. But the battle system, other than that, it's pretty excellent, I would say. The battle plugs just add so much depth here, and they're really fun to use. There's like a ton of them that you can craft, and they basically change various conditions of Mario & Luigi's attacks, while also doing other things, like automatically giving you items, increasing defense, or making counters easier. Similar to badges in Bowser's Inside Story and Dream Team, you could also combine their effects, which creates combos, which is really cool. Like, there's one that, like, for example, one of the earlier ones you can do is, like, Iron Cabal, which is where you combine, like, a Kaboom attack and a surprise Iron Ball, which, basically makes the Iron Balls, like, hit every enemy rather than just one, since the Kaboom attack basically is kind of like a shockwave that hits the enemies, so it kind of applies that to, like, that effect. And Kaboom attack can also work with, like, a lot of conditional battle plugs, so it's pretty cool. And I'd actually say they're better than the badges in previous games. I was a bit worried at first, and I feel like other people were a bit concerned that they wouldn't be as good as, like, badges and things, or would be too similar to the cards in Paper Jam. But I feel like these actually work better. Like, I feel like you have access to more of them, because there's, like, quite a lot of them that you can craft, at least comparing to, like, Dream Team in Bowser's Inside Stories badges. Since ones in games before that, like Partners in Time and Superstar Saga, they're more like accessories. And they also have longer lasting effects. They're not just like one thing that happens, like it heals you once, or like adds like attack power once or something like that. No, these are things that can kind of continually work over different turns, which is really cool. And I feel like they have even more of an importance to the battles too. In a way, they almost feel like Paper Mario or Mario Wonders badges, kind of like a combination of those ideas in that aspect. Since you like Mario Wonder, you could like switch them out really easily, and then similar to Paper Mario, you can do like a ton of different like effects and things, or like allow you to do like more things. So it kind of has that element to it. But my only problem is that the fact that you have to wait for them to recharge, that's a bit weird. I wish there was a way where you could use, like, I guess you wouldn't use the sprite bulbs, because those are used for crafting and there's like a finite amount of them. But if there was like some type of other resource, or like you could use coins or something to like, or use an item or something to recharge it, I think that would be interesting. But it is a bit weird, I would say, that you can't do that. But I don't think it's that much of an issue, because there's so many of them that you can collect. You could just swap one out if one just runs out of charge. So, yeah. And another thing I like about the battle system, I actually mentioned in a previous video, but the fact that jump and hammer action commands are more involved, kind of similar to Partners in Time, is really interesting. Like, they're almost more acrobatic, kind of like the Bros attacks in Superstar Saga, but for regular moves, I think they're pretty cool. They're definitely more involved, and they're not really hard to pull off or annoying to pull off. So that's kind of why I like them. I really like more involved action commands. I feel like it just adds more depth to everything, and it just makes it feel more interesting. There is actually a battle plug that makes it even more involved, like it gives you an extra jump and everything. And I think there might be one for the hammer too, I'm not sure, but that kind of ties into everything. Like, the battle system just feels excellent overall. I feel like this is, like, alongside like Paper Jam and maybe like Dream Team and Bowser's Inside Story, they're definitely all like very involved here, and there's definitely a lot of mechanical nuance, which I really appreciate. The world design is another thing that I love about Mario & Luigi Brothership, because I feel like it has the perfect balance here with how it's designed. The game is not too linear, it actually feels open in a lot of sections, and there's a lot of hidden collectibles and things to find. So it's kind of similar to Dream Team in that aspect, but there are still some linear sections as well, kind of in a similar manner to Partners in Time, but the whole game doesn't necessarily feel like that. Partners in Time is much closer to like Paper Mario in that aspect, but this game kind of has a balance between like Dream Team's and Partners in Time's design. I feel like definitely Partners in Time in terms of like the hub world and things in some islands, but then it has that aspect of Dream Team as well, where it does kind of feel like open in a lot of ways, but still kind of leads you to a specific area. But on the other hand, it's definitely not too open, unlike Paper Jam. Paper Jam felt way too empty and spread out, and I haven't really felt that at all in Brothership, which I think is a good thing. So I definitely think there is a balance there in terms of world design. And one feature that I am actually kind of surprised that I liked about Brothership is the side quests. Because in a lot of games, side quests are kind of an annoyance or feel like padding at times, but they actually feel really important to Brothership. At first, I was worried that they wouldn't be handled well, because we saw that some of them would only be available for a limited time in the story, kind of making it weird to 100%. But that implementation actually makes a lot of sense, because the side quests feel more like an extension to the main story, rather than like little side chores that aren't really that worth it unless you want to 100% the game. No, in Brothership, they actually add to the story. There's actually like meaningful interactions with the characters. It actually shows a little bit of like backstory and various pieces of the story. So the side quests are actually very important. And I actually really like how they're handled. Like, it actually feels rewarding to do them. Like, the rewards are worth it. You don't have to go too much out of the way. There's only like a few of them where you have to travel between like a few islands, but with the fact that this game has a great fast travel system, it doesn't even really matter that much. So I feel like the side quests in the game are pretty good. It is a bit weird how like the limited time ones are implemented, even though they are important and do make sense to have at a specific point in the story. I still think they're a great feature to have, and I do like how the side quests were handled here. And finally, another aspect that I like about Brothership are the quality of life features, because there are definitely a lot of convenient aspects of this game. The return pipe is back from Super Paper Mario. I was actually really surprised by that inclusion. I don't think that's a coincidence that it's called that, because it actually has the same exact feature that it did in Super Paper Mario, and basically takes you back to Ship-Shape Island, but also has the ability of sending you to other islands, which is also very useful if you're doing side quests where you have to go from one island to another, or if you're done with one side quest and want to do another one. That is a great feature to have. I am glad that that's there, and especially like with collecting like the sprite bulbs as well. I think that's really cool to have. And then finally, being able to move Ship-Shape Island quickly is also very useful. Or also being able to like slow it down. Well, I guess you can't really slow it down, just have it in normal speed, but like changing the speed in general is really nice. Since if you want to complete side quests, you can just keep it on normal speed, but if you want to continue on with the story and want to get us to a specific island pretty quickly, all you have to do is just speed it up, and when you speed up Ship-Shape Island, it goes really fast. So you can basically get to the next island that you need to in a very short amount of time, which is very nice. Navigating the sea in general is actually pretty good, I would say. It's like, I was a bit worried that it would be annoying and clunky, but no, it actually works very well, and like selecting the currents and going around to different areas is actually pretty fun. But yeah, those are some of the things that I enjoy about Brothership. There are some things that I haven't mentioned that I would like to dedicate their own videos to, like the story and the characters, because those are absolutely amazing. Even the art style, I would say, is another thing that I love. But I feel like they definitely need more discussion, like, on their own, I would say. And also my review as well. But yeah, anyways, thank you guys for watching this video. Make sure to leave a like and subscribe for more. And make sure to check out my Blue Sky and Discord if you want to. Goodbye.